So I gave it some thought for my prior video about how I should continue this series, and I came to the conclusion that doing pre-recorded videos is probably not the best idea, because then it sounds like I'm scripting myself, but I definitely am not. I'm just live. I'm commentating over my pre-recorded videos. So it makes it sound like I'm scripting myself, but I'm not. So going forward, I'm just going to live commentate on my actual gameplay. And that might be a little more interesting, because I'm not going to edit out any of my mistakes, or I guess, I don't know, like stuff like this where I have absolutely nothing to say and it just makes it awkward. But the number one bottleneck for every early Iron is going to be teleporting, because you're not going to have the magic level to do all of these fancy teleports, and you're definitely not going to have the law runes or as many law runes as you need to do the teleports. So the first thing I would recommend, the first teleport that I had as an Iron was the Chronicle. And you purchase the Chronicle by going to Ranarrs, so you can just go to Lumbridge and just run west, talk to Diango, and you can buy the Chronicle, which is 300 coins, and you can also buy the cards, which are the charges you need for the Chronicle. You just put them together, and now you have a charged book. So once you have the books charged, you just click teleport, and it teleports you to the Champions Guild, which is right below Varrock. I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but you get the picture. So this is probably my favorite early Ironman teleport. Now, another thing you want to unlock as an early Ironman is the Fairy Ring Network. And for the Fairy Ring Network, you're going to need a couple of skills. Ooh, look at that. What is this? That is a sword, my buddy. Oh, nice. So also do your random events. You'll get like these random gems, and they're really good early on as well, because this will be turned into a dueling ring. The Fairy Ring Network is possibly the most OP thing to have as an early Iron, because look at all these teleports. Look at everywhere that you can go to without any law runes, without any magic levels, and all you need to do is a couple of quests actually, but one main quest. And this is really good because, again, you don't require magic, you don't require law runes, you just fucking go and chill with the penguins. Unlocking the fairy rings are actually one of the best things to do at early Iron. For this, you need to complete Fairy Tale Part 1, and you need to start Fairy Tale Part 2. Now, if you look at the quest requirements for Fairy Tale Part 2, you're going to see like some high level, like herbalore and high level farming required. You don't need that to start the quest. You don't need that to get access to the fairy rings. You just need to complete Fairy Tale Part 1. And Fairy Tale Part 1 has some very simple quest requirements. While the quest itself doesn't have skill requirements, Lost City does. And Lost City requires 31 crafting and 36 woodcutting. So this is your skill requirement to complete all the quests. That's including Nature's Spirit, which I believe doesn't have, 18 crafting, so you're going to get more than that anyways. Restless Ghost has no requirements, and Priest and Peril also has no requirements. So once you get those two skill requirements for Lost City, you should be able to complete all the quests here. Now, I really recommend using the old school wiki for all of your quest guides, specifically this Fairy Tale Part 1, because within the quest you're going to get to a point where you need to collect 3 items, and the wiki will kind of have it all drawn out for you what the potential items can be and where you can get them. So for example, if one of your 3 items is a potato cactus, you can click on it and you can actually see that you can get it from the Calphite layer. So it's really nice to follow this guide to see where you can get all of the items from, including some of these like herbs. If you don't have an herb level, it'll tell you that you can go to Narda in order to pay to get your herb cleaned. So this is very helpful. Once you complete the quest, you need to start Fairy Tale Part 2. You don't need any of the skill requirements, you just need to complete Fairy Tale Part 1. And you get to this portion right here, unlock the fairy rings. Once you do this part, once you complete this part of the quest, which is right there in the beginning, you are able to use fairy rings, and that is huge. So congratulations, now you've unlocked fairy rings. You're going to need a drum and staff in order to navigate through the fairy rings unless you've completed the Lumbridge Elite Diary. The best thing for an early Ironman with the fairy rings is accessing other realms. So if I were to go to the fairy ring, and this is a Rune Light plugin, the fairy ring filter, if you go to the location BKQ, you'll go into the Enchanted Valley. And if you complete, for example, this fairy ring, Fairy Tales Part 2, Part 1. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's already chilling here. This guy is literally here for the reason why I made this video, which is hilarious. And normally, you see the lower levels doing it, but this is nice AFK when he's on mobile. Okay, that makes sense. So, as you can see what this guy is doing, if you come to the Enchanted Valley and you have a axe with you, and you chop down a tree here, let's put a spell on. If you chop down this tree, you're gonna spawn a tree spirit, and you can just basically safe spot it, whether it's ranging or maging. You don't get XP, so I recommend maging to get the splash XP at least. You don't get any other XP. You can come here at a lower level, have the tree spirit be a lower level, and you can just cast, what is it, Fire Strike, and just get the XP for it, as if you're fire splashing, but you'll actually be killing the tree spirit. And the tree spirit drops crazy amount of nature runes at a time, and also drops a rune axe. So this is a great place for early Ironman to gather nature runes and and obtain a rune axe, so you can actually get your woodcutting level really, really high. And then you can do Dagon to Kings for the Dragon Axe. Oh, there you go. Nature rune drop. They drop 22 at a time. OP. Let's kill one more. I promise you they're easier to kill at a lower level, but because these spirits scale with your level, they gain a bit of defense as well at the higher levels. So this is definitely something you want to do at the lower levels. I keep getting seeds, dude. And there is the rune axe. Woo!